And Ryan Hollins, we have a little breaking news to report, and we're going to let Rob G kind of get us in there. We talked about it a little bit, teased it about Ben Simmons, and I hope people learn from this. But Rob G, what you got?
That's right, Rob Parker. The Brooklyn Nets announced that Ben Simmons will undergo a microdissectomy procedure on Thursday, which is tomorrow, to alleviate pain caused by a herniated disc in his back. He's expected to need 3 to 4 months to make a full recovery on the back surgery.
And Ryan, here we go. I said this when he was reported that he was going to play in Game 3. The Nets were down 0-2. It was a big game, right? Was it? Yeah, he was going to play in Game 3, and he didn't play. And he said that he woke up and he didn't feel right in his back, and everybody attacked him. Shaq said it was a punk move. Even Reggie Miller, who is, is just mild-mannered for the most part, kind of attacked him in that the team needs you. You need to get out there. And Chris Broussard, who was critical of him as well. But I'm going to say this. The reason I didn't attack him, and I said it at the time, we could pull the tape up, Ryan, is you don't know whether someone's hurt or not. It's easy to just guess and say, oh, he don't want to play, he hasn't played all year, this guy just want to collect money, he doesn't have any heart, the team needs him. But if you're hurt, you're hurt. And if I'm not a doctor, and those guys aren't doctors, and you can't guess when it comes to somebody's health, Ryan, you can't. You know this. Just because you might look like you're not hurt or you don't look at a situation doesn't mean you're not ailing, and I think people cross the line. I remember when the Bears quarterback, Rob G, Jay Cutler, Ryan, I don't know if you remember this story, he got hurt in a playoff game, and he's on the sidelines, and players, former players or current players, were tweeting and ripping him for not going back in the game because he was hurt. I think people cross the line when they play the role of doctor. You're not a doctor. You've not examined him. You don't know. I get it. Ben Simmons can give you all kinds of reasons why you might not like him, why you think you'd rather not have him on your team. But let this be a lesson to people. You cannot, N-O-T, medically evaluate anybody from your damn couch. You can't do it. I would call that malpractice, Ryan Hollins, and you know what I'm talking about. Everybody shredded that guy, and now he's having surgery.
No, you're right about that, and I think that the frustrations come from the way that things were handled in Philadelphia. That Ben didn't want to come to to training camp and miss a lot of time, and he does end up being hurt. So I think there's other strikes against Ben Simmons, and now the public opinion is not with him. And then we had the expectation that, and keep in mind, Ben Simmons, he's a star in the league. He's an all-star. He may not be a superstar, but he's a star in the league. He's got a name. People want to see him play basketball, and the disappointment comes that he's not playing. And I think what's frustrating is Ben has the tag of, not caring, kind of being selfish, being about himself. And you're right. This is why you don't scrutinize guys, because he's got to get surgery. And I'm pretty sure he didn't say, yeah, man, I'd like to miss the whole season and end up having surgery. Now, the reasons that lead to this may come out, and we don't know if he wasn't doing his training right, he got hurt working out, whatever it was, if he was out of shape and something lingered, whatever it is, if he was not taking care of his body and this is a result of this, I'm sure that'll come out. But you're absolutely right, Rob. I'm going to agree with you. When a guy's hurt, you can't say who's hurt and who's not hurt. And it's just, unfortunately, as athletes, even when you miss time, that notion is somehow going to go against you. People think you're just Iron Man.
And here it is. Reggie Miller said Simmons has, quote, zero competitive fire. That was his quote. Stephen A. Smith called him pathetic. Quote. Kendrick Perkins said Simmons completed, quote, the biggest heist in NBA history, close quote. Shaq called it a punk move. Ryan, this is over the top. A guy's injured.
Yeah, he is injured, and I think there's some apologies that are going to come. But there is a level where those words aren't from him necessarily having surgery. A lot of people didn't agree with the way that he handled the situation in Philadelphia.
I get that, but I'm saying this is my point. When he said he was going to come back and the story was out, and he woke up and said he didn't feel right, we have to take him at his word. Who are we, Ryan Hollins? Who are we? Do you know what my body feels like? I don't know what your body feels like. I mean, medically, I hope you guys understand.
Gosh,
okay?
Oh my gosh!
Don't say that, Alex.
Let me.
Thank you, Rob.
Rob, let me throw this out to you. If you're the Nets, was that a smart trade? Because I'm sure
Well,
this
we don't
had
know.
It had to have shown
yet.
up on the MRI to some degree. When for those who don't know, when you get traded, you go and have a physical. And if you don't pass your physical, it can void the trade. Tyson Chandler had a deal a couple of years back where I think he got traded to Oklahoma City. And he didn't pass the physical and had to come right back and report. So do you think they saw that on the physical? Do you think if you're the Nets, they're looking like, hey, we'll need Ben for next year? Was it a smart move? Should they just kind of have stayed with James Harden?
Well, I mean, James, you don't want to stay with somebody who doesn't want to be there. You know that, Ryan. You're not going to get the best. And if James, look at how he's playing now. He wanted to go to Philadelphia. You think people in Philly are happy right now?
Well, they got something better than nothing. If it
but
was
I'm
Ben
saying,
Simmons, they wouldn't have had anything at all, man.
No, but the only problem is, you know this, when somebody doesn't want to be somewhere, they're not going to give you their all under any circumstance.
Yeah, but is there a level where if you maintain their rights, they're not just going to just soft shoot through the playoffs? I mean, you imagine a guy, even if he doesn't want to be there, for his own pride, he's not going to show up in the playoffs?
Yes, I could believe that or not play to his potential. All I'm saying is I do believe that there maybe was something there or a little history. They thought he could work through it, and maybe it wasn't as bad. And it appeared like he was on track to play. And then, between game 3 and when he was supposed to game 2 and 3, when he woke up, he felt like he couldn't play. My only point is, if you want to rip him for the way he handled himself in Philadelphia, and he was a big baby for being mad that Doc Rivers said, I don't know. You asked him, could you win with Ben Simmons? And he said, I don't know, right? And Ben Simmons got his panties in a bunch and wasn't happy. I get that part.
Rob, now
you can't evaluate people.
See, now you're not being sympathetic. Like, what if Chris went and was like, I don't lie like Rob. I don't know how credible Rob is. I don't know if I believe in him as a partner. Can we take the odd couple to the next level? Chris would never do that to you. I would never do. I would just do it to your face. I wouldn't do it behind your back, Rob. But like you'd be upset.
No, I get that part, but I'm talking about you can't evaluate people. I think this is where we cross the line, and it sounds good, Ryan. It's a good sound bite. Rob G, can you take the mic?
What's up, Rob Parker?
Did I not refuse to say I don't know what his medical – what did I say on the show?
That's almost exactly verbatim what you said. And I remember because it was a big talking point with you and Chris Broussard because Chris was leaning heavily into the Reggie Miller, narrative.
Right.
He doesn't have his competitive fire. He's sitting out the whole season. Why are you working out if you're not going to play? He obviously has some kind of mental block, and that's what's causing this whole thing. And lo and behold, he actually got a pinched nerve in his back.
Right. And you shouldn't go out there, Ryan Hollins. He's 25 years old. He's got to be right. You could do real damage to yourself.
No. Listen, I'm not questioning that at all. I just think when you want to judge an athlete and you have experience in the media, you do need to have a second thought. You're not just, the average guy. You do have to have a second thought. And I think even to his mindset for wanting to leave, I don't think he maybe handled it perfectly. But how are you going to react when your running mate and your head coach kind of throw you under the bus? I don't know if I'd like that situation either if I were Ben Simmons. But as far as the injury, yes, I agree with you, Rob. But I mean, would you stick around with Chris if he was just bashing you like that? Come on, Rob. Admit it. You'd be out of there.
But Doc Rivers was also very complimentary, even to the point where we thought this is ridiculous. And then the one time he said anything sideways, it was the end of the world. Doc was bending over backwards and saying nice stuff about Ben often. So I thought I didn't think it was the end of the world. He didn't say, no, there's no way I can win with
Rob,
him.
I would never
he
throw
said,
you
I
under
didn't
the
know.
bus. Rob, I would never. Me and Chris would never throw you under the bus, dude. There's no excuse. And then the season's over. Like, that's the worst time to do it. It's the worst time to do it. And then credit Doc. I'm pretty sure Doc apologized. He came to the table. But I'm not going to challenge Ben because he was sour on that situation. And then in a place like Philadelphia, there's a lot going on. And I hope him a speedy recovery. Hey, Rob, is there any update on what that surgery is, or how serious is it? Is it just something?
Well, they said it recovery 3 to 4 months, so that's the off season.
Wow.
He should be ready for it, right? It's May now. He should be ready for the season in October.
And how about if there's a scenario, Rob, and I think I'm agreeing with you at this point, where he was trying to fight through the pinched nerve and trying to be healthy and trying to be, try to make it into the lineup, and probably knew he had it and just said, I'm going to give my efforts to be available, and just couldn't make it happen.
I'm always going to lean towards, if somebody tells me they're hurt, I'm going to lean that way. I just can't. No matter what it looks like, what it feels like. I don't think it's right for people when somebody says they're hurt, Ryan. I don't know how you can justify or speak on their behalf on how they're feeling.
But you bash his behavior. You don't like the way he got out of Philly. You don't like that he didn't report.
But the behavior is fine. I'm just talking about how hurt somebody is. You don't know that.
I agree. No, but I'm asking you another question. You don't agree with his behavior.
No, I bashed him for that. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying we can't do that. All right.
Let's go to Niles over in California. You're on the Odd Couple, man. What are you thinking as far as Ben Simmons is concerned?
Oh, man, well, I think he's in for a long, long haul, man. Like, I had that same surgery in my L4, L5. I couldn't walk for a week, and then I'm still going through pain. And it's been over a year and a half now. But
you know what? It's a serious injury, obviously, and you just talked about your own situation. That's why I think people need to be careful about diagnosing people.
Yeah, I mean, I went through every possible scenario you can go through to avoid going to surgery, and it was like the last case scenario. And no one ever wants to go into the knife.
No
He's
doubt.
got a big decision in front of him. I'll hang up and listen.
Oh, yeah, they're already. The surgery's tomorrow. So, Ryan, the decision's been made. He's got to get it done.
Yeah,
He's a young guy.
He's not faking. You
No.
trust me, you do not want to go under the knife.
No. You're not trying to
Not
get
at all.
surgery to prove people wrong.
Nah, man.
Oh, yeah, cut me. Yeah, cut my back. Yeah, cut me.
Of all places, right? Let's go to Cecil over in Houston. H-Town in the place, in the building. What's up, H-Town? Talk to me. What's up, Cecil? You on the Odd Couple.
Well, when you're a professional athlete, period, and if you had a competitive side, you want to play. I mean, I was never a professional athlete, but during my days, we, took the shots, we popped the pills, we did whatever we had to do in order to get on the field, in order to play, because you wanted to play. Ben Simmons started the season saying he had mental fatigue. I'm going to say what my mother said about mental fatigue. Whenever you got mental fatigue, that means you're mentally weak in the mind.
But what about the surgery? I get what your opinion of him might be, and that might be fair. What about the surgery? You don't count that? That means nothing to you?
I'm not saying it means nothing, but what I'm basically saying is every professional athlete toward the end of the season, during the season, has something wrong.
They don't have back surgery. Stop. I'm not going to let Ryan. Will you please let him know? People don't go under the knife for back surgery. Not at 25. You would never do it unless you need to alleviate pain.
Yeah, it is a major deal. It is a major deal. There may be other questions about Ben, but you can't. Trust me, the surgery is something. He's not doing that just to prove a point. Let's go over to Brian in Miami. Brian in Miami, what are you seeing here? You're on the Odd Couple.
Oh, my. Rob, I love you, but I definitely got to push back on you on this one. So My issue is if you made this analogy a long time ago that to be convicted of like something serious like murder, they don't have to catch you killing somebody. They don't need any really concrete proof to be convicted of murder. If you have no credibility and if the glove fits, you could be convicted of murder in the court of law. It's kind of the same thing with Ben Simmons.
No, it's not. No, it's
yes,
not.
It is.
What? He's having surgery tomorrow. How is it? How?
Why is he having it
You
now?
could rip him for you could. What do you mean? Why now? He just had a relapse. He was supposed to play Game 3. He woke up and said he didn't feel right. That's why he didn't play.
He was supposed to play 2 weeks after he got drafted to the Nets too, and that didn't happen.
Yes, but can you at least acknowledge that the guy's having surgery tomorrow and that it's the real deal? That has nothing to do with whether you think you could say. You don't think Ben Simmons, you could say he's soft. You could say, I don't know if he really wants to play. But you can't say that he's faking an injury or that it's not real or the severity of it is weak. That's
Rob,
what you can't say if you're not a doctor.
Rob, you cannot, the question was if he deserves an apology. If you don't talk to the media, if you let other people tell your story for you, and you have no credibility.
He said he was hurt. He said he was hurt. What does he need to tell you? Show you the X-rays?
Is that why he was hurt in the training when they took his paycheck and then he showed up to training camp for Philadelphia? Is it like that?
No,
he has no credibility.
No. That's different. You're talking about surgery, and that's the validation is what I'm trying to get to. Okay? Ryan, you could have issues with the way he's handled this whole situation. I've had issues. But I refuse to sit here or go on the radio and rip people about their medical well-being when I'm not a doctor and I haven't examined them.